YouTube.com, Markcraft86. Today's Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. And I'd like to talk about the mass awakening that's going on. That I see going on online. I'm on Instagram, so I open up Instagram and I'm seeing, I would assume is the youth making memes and edits, trying to give everybody a crash course of, you know, who shot JFK, who had foreknowledge of 9/11. And, you know, who runs all these institutions, allegedly. Right? And it's crazy, and it's awesome to see, to be quite honest. It's probably shocking to people. Like, I don't know how people are handling it. I don't know if it's just my algorithm. I mean, I know it's not, but I just don't know how other people are handling it, but you know, you better take it easy, doggy. I don't know how you're handling things, but just better relax over there. So anyway, what I want to talk about today is the reaction, the backlash. There's going to be definitely an effort from the top down to dismantle this awakening. The people on top, they're definitely pissed. They don't want us talking about what we're talking about, basically. So I think what's going to happen is well, this is what's going to happen. This is kind of what I want to get across. If you say something to somebody, could be anybody, could be nobody. I'm talking to myself right now on the microphone, right? But if you say something and it's silly and it's not well thought out, no basis in reality, then people can just ignore you, dismiss it. They don't gotta mention it, they don't gotta laugh at you. I just literally mean they can ignore you, right? Now, if you say something and you think it's well thought out and you've done your research and you've been reading your books and you've been doing all this, and then you feel resistance, okay, but like if they have arguments, you know, we have an exchange of ideas, you have an open debate. If you're open-minded, they can change your mind, right? But if they don't have any arguments, then what's going to happen is it's going to resort to name calling. Now, life is pretty subtle. A lot of the times people might not like even give you the cues, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty nonchalant out there. We're all kind of too cool for school, so it's almost like pulling teeth to get reactions out of people sometimes, right? But what I'm saying is if you say something and they can't leave it alone, right? But they don't have a counter argument. They can't say, yo, you're wrong because of this, or hey, what about this? And you can go, you know, I never really thought about it like that. Let me think about that. Maybe you will change my mind. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I'll get back to you. That's one thing. But if you feel resistance where it's like they're trying to chop you down, name calling, then this is the point of my video here, is like the name calling means that you won. So don't take it personal. Cue the music. Take your victory humbly. There's no need to rub it in their face, okay? But this is what I'm getting at here. I got some examples that's going to tie in this way of thinking. First example. The Black Lives Matter movement. Rest in peace, George Floyd. And, but what they did was they exploited that poor man's death. And they plastered it on the news 24/7. And what happened was when the protests started turning into like riots, you know, instead of the news telling you, well, it's getting a little crazy over here, right? They're trying to like gaslight you into thinking that everything's cool, it's all peaceful, right? Like they got the newsman. He's like dodging people throwing stuff. You're hearing people hooting and hollering, running around on scooters. In the background, you know, the Gucci store gets broken into and they're stealing all the bags or whatever. And, you know, the robbers like getting pickpocketed alive. Or the the guy delivering the news is getting pickpocketed alive on air. And his car's upside down on fire, and he's looking at you dead in the eyes and being like, we got a peaceful protest going down here just in honor of George Floyd, you know what I mean? Everything's good. And it's like, they're straight lying to you. They're telling you to not believe what your eyes are telling you. And here's the thing, guys. If I say something like, you know, you should just not be down with, like, riots across the board, no matter what. You shouldn't be breaking into buildings and ruining small businesses for, you know what, because you want to get your anger out or something, then I'm racist. You know what I'm saying? That's the argument back. There's no argument back. There's no open debate about it. It's just you're racist straight up. And if you tweeted some stuff, you might get canceled for it, right? So that's kind of the example of you have a position, doesn't even matter if it's correct. There's going to be a narrative established, and if you go against it, you know, George Floyd died death due to police brutality. Their argument is the cop on African American crime is off the charts. We're sick of it, kind of thing, right? So we're sick of it and we're doing this, right? But the counter argument is like, you know what, I understand, and there's things that we can do, and let's talk about it. Let's do something. I know the government's not going to do something. I know the cops ain't going to do something. Let's talk about that. Let's figure that out, right? But can we agree that looting and rioting and hooting and hollering and stealing phones and all this is like, you know, we can't really have that? And they don't say, they can't, you know, most of the time it ain't agreeing with that. It's just kind of like, you're racist. You can't even say that. So that's the example of you're onto something. You're onto the truth. And they're just gonna shut you down, right? Another example would be, you know, what's going on in the West with the transgenderism and the gay stuff and the gender affirming care. Where it's like, you know, these people would tell you trans rights are human rights, and there's a lot of trans people who are committing suicide, and that's horrible, and it is. And if you don't speak out about that, you know, your silence is violence. So if you don't virtue signal enough, if you're not an activist enough for these people, your silence is violence. You know, and my counter argument would be, I guess, trans people are such a low percentage of the population, and it's insane that the rate of them ending themselves is so high, and that probably has something to do with, like, you know, it's body dysphoria. It's like a mental illness, okay? And I'd already be cut off right now. I wouldn't be able to finish my sentence, but it's like a mental illness, and we should help these people, but we should not make our whole society about, cue the music, LGBTQ rights and everything. But I wouldn't, and I'd still go on. If I could go on, I'd still be saying, and the gender affirming care that's popping up is not good. A lot of people are going to regret it, and it's also a big money making scheme. A lot of people are making money on it, so once you start making money on it, it's almost like impossible to get rid of. But yeah, I wouldn't even be able to get that far, and it's like you're transphobic. Alright, so it says no arguments, just shut you down, you know what I'm saying? Name calling, so this is what I'm getting at. Once you hear the name calling, once you don't hear any arguments and you hear the name calling, that means that you won. So it's like, and now we're kind of figuring out, you can't really debate these people. A lot of them will dance on your grave, you know? It's like, I'm 10 minutes into this video. I've said some things that basically make me Hitler, Nazi, I'm next kind of thing, or not. No, you know, you guys know what I'm saying. This this kind of language, like, they wouldn't care if conservatives or people speaking how I'm speaking, because I'm not a conservative technically. What's up, Warren and Trader? I see you up there. Can't be watching me. Yeah, they wouldn't care if I died, man. It's weird what we're learning after Charlie Kirk got assassinated, okay? But you understand, the name calling comes out. The next example I got here. A little, I don't know, a little virus down in 2020. You guys remember that, right? Yeah, we all remember that. And that's another thing I'm kind of sick of, is everything that happens... Every, like, crisis that happens is... Everyone's just an expert, you know? You can't talk to anybody. Everyone knows what's going on, and... Anyway, we're not gonna get into all that, but... 2020... You know, if you were to say something like... I'm not gonna mask up, or... The social distancing is BS, or... The lockdowns aren't gonna work, you know? And you could even back it up. You could have arguments, it didn't matter. You were just shut down anti-science. In other words, they wouldn't have to deal with you. They don't have to grapple with your ideas. They get to go to bed at night just saying, you're loony, you're crazy, and I get to go ahead and keep my view of the world going no matter how flawed or ignorant it is, you know what I'm saying? That's when the name calling comes out, you know? Like if you were to say... I don't know, that these companies were fibbing about how many times you'd have to get the jibby jab and how good it would be and what they tested for and how thorough they were with the safety studies, you know, you'd be called anti-vax. Conspiracy theorist anti-vax, you know? Again, name calling, not dealing with the arguments, okay? I remember, Justin Trudeau flipping around his sexy little hair, getting the crowd going, you know. If you're not gonna get your shit jabbed up, then you're not gonna be able to get on a plane, train, or an automobile. And then the crowd's going crazy, right? Total dehumanization, guys, like kind of what the Nazis did. So I could kind of sit here and I could call Justin Trudeau a Nazi. He's hateful, he's Hitler. Someone's got to do something about it, you know? But I'm not like that. But that's how lame the logic is. I think you guys understand what I'm saying. Some brave Canadian men and women could load up their trucks, make a convoy, drive it to the capital, and start demanding from the government real representation, you know? And what happens instead of the arguments, you know? We shouldn't have to take this experimental medication to go over the border back and forth here, okay? You guys aren't talking about real science here. You're not talking about herd immunity. We need to talk about this, but they wouldn't talk to him. What did happen? I can't really remember. Oh yeah, I do remember. Trudeau comes out with his sexy ass hair. His sexy little tight ass suits, alright? Letting everybody know, you know, if you're in this convoy, if you support the truckers, you're transphobic, you're homophobic, you're xenophobic, you're Islamophobic, you're all the phobics. Racist, sexist, fascist, Nazi pig. And it's like, what are you even talking about? But yeah, that's what you are, and that's what I'm saying, guys. So it's, you have the arguments, you're thinking, you're presenting something, you got your eyes open, you're recognizing the patterns, you're pointing out shit that starts becoming obvious, and you're still baffled by the resistance you're gonna feel. And I guess I'm also talking to myself, because these videos are for myself, and I guess I'm saying, when you feel that resistance, and especially when there's no arguments or open debate, and it just resorts to name calling, then you already won. So take your victory like a champ. Don't rub it in their face. Forgive them, Father, for they do not know what they are doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically the message I want to get across, is that if you're online telling people that you should look into who shot JFK and what JFK was doing before he got shot, or you're saying, I think this person had foreknowledge of 9/11, or maybe that person had foreknowledge of October 7th, for example, then you should get online and you should say it, or you should, you know, you should say what you want to say. And if you feel a calling to say it, you should say it. And what I'm saying is, if you feel resistance from people, good. That means you're on the right track, and they're like too insecure to give you your flowers. You know what I mean? They can't disagree with you, but you triggered them, so they gotta tear you down, basically, like crabs in the bucket. You guys know that one? The crabs in the bucket. Cue the bass line. But you don't have to put the lid on the bucket, because you put the crabs in there and you got them all divided up and conquered by skin color and all this, right? And when someone wants to improve their life and put effort in and make something happen, you know, the other crabs, instead of like helping them out, which is what a secure crab would do, they're like insecure crabs, man. And you're just trying to like get out of there because the water's getting hot. You know, it's getting hotter and hotter, and you're like, I don't want to be here, the water's getting hot, and you're trying to just get one of your crab legs up on the edge of the pot so you can pull yourself up out of here, because the water's starting to boil. And then the crabs down there are like, no, actually, Mark Craft 86, the water's fine, come on down. And they pull you back down, and you're like, man, I don't like it down here, it's getting hot, I think they're trying to kill me. It's like, this water, I swear every year it's getting hotter, and climate change is a hoax, but man, this is about to boil over here. You know what I'm saying? And then the crabs are like, Mark, you're a conspiracy theorist, come on down. And they keep pulling you down, and you won't get out of the bucket because of the other crabs in the bucket. Okay, but so what we got to do is we got to get all these crabs, we got to help out all the crabs to get strong, happy, healthy, secure, and confident, so that when you want to lift yourself up, whatever it is, these crabs are they're helping you, you know. They're humble. They give you your flowers up when you do something good, you know. They say that they're proud of you. All the people name calling you, hitting you with subtle resistance and everything, how you say, haters, guys, haters, drinking haterade, okay? They're intimidated by you. You know what I'm saying? I think you guys get what I'm getting at with this video. If you got the arguments, you got the arguments. If you don't, then you don't. And the world's waking up to the you-know-who's running the show, the Zionist billionaires. And it's going to be coming out the woodwork. Like, yo, they're going to be telling you, if you think that a small group of people are running all this with the money and power, you're crazy. You're Looney Tunes. You know, you're a theorist of conspiracies. You know, quit wasting your time. They're going to shame you, just like they shamed you during 2020. Just like they shamed you during BLM. Just like they shamed you just like they shamed you back in the day, the early 2000s, when you were like, guys, I don't think they got any WMDs. Weapons of mass destruction. Weapons of mass destruction. Weapons of mass destruction. Where are they? They don't have them. Oh, guess what? Iran's got them. And pretty soon, if I criticize us going to war with Iran, what? I'm an Iran sympathizer. Like, get out of here, guys. So that's where it's coming to. You either have the arguments, you either want to help us flip over this rigged ass Monopoly board, or you don't have any arguments and you're going to hit us with name calling resistance, in which case people like that get slapped. So I mean, don't be scared, homie. Buckle up. This stuff, it's gonna get crazy because the people in charge are a bunch of adults that essay children, alright? And I don't appreciate it. Cue the music to try to lighten this dark topic. And I don't appreciate it. And they're trying to use everything to distract from releasing the Epstein files. And it's obvious. Well, from day one I knew the Charlie Kirk assassination was fishy, but we're going on, what, 3 weeks in here? Never mind fishy, the FBI's on it, the government's on it as far as I'm concerned. Trump's done some naughty things, and maybe he lied when he was campaigning on releasing the Epstein files. He knew that was a good thing to campaign on, and he knew he was going to flip the script. I don't know, guys. I don't know what's going on, but, you know, I know enough to know that the people in charge don't care about us. Yo, I can't let you guys get close. Alright? They don't care about us. And I don't take that too lightly. I don't take that too kindly. And, I think... Let me make a little space here. I think that's everything I wanted to hit in this video, guys. The world's waking up to the crazy. It's gonna be slow, it's gonna be crazy, people are gonna be kicking and screaming, they're not gonna want to admit it. It's a lot to take in, it's a lot, people are gonna be in denial for a long time. Some people woke up during COVID, some people are gonna wake up because of this. People are coming out of the woodwork, and what you're gonna see is people are going to be taking all kinds of advantage of this, and you're going to go online and you're going to hear people talk like me, but they're going to say things even crazier like, yo, there's a bunch of pig reptilians running the planet. And then you can be like, yo, Mark sounds like one of those guys, and you just call me dope and move on with your life or whatever, right? But this is what I'm getting at with this video is... If anyone's listening and you're into this and you're like trying to get the word out, don't let people hold you down. Resistance is good. Every accusation is a little confession. And then for myself, what I'm trying to get with this is, yo, Markcraft86, I think your role is to, like, kind of be a glue guy, a utility guy, because I'm a little too deep into this to... I'm a little too pissed off and angry to hold people's hands, sorta, and walk them through it, who just, like, woke up yesterday, who have no idea what's going on. And you know what? God bless you. If you can go the rest of your days not really knowing what's going on, good on you. We don't need the whole planet to wake up to this. You don't need everyone in your country to wake up to this. You only need you need to hit a critical mass. You need to hit a certain number. And once you do, everyone's just gonna know it. It's like the thousandth monkey shit. Once everyone knows it, it's just... You're just... Even people who don't know it, you're gonna pretend you know it because you don't want to be, like, perceived as an idiot. You want to fit in around people, so it's like... This is how it goes. Society sort of uses shame or, you know, to, like, control behavior a little bit, and people hijack that. And during the pandemic, during the BLM, during the trans stuff, during the Canadian convoy, Yeah, they can just shut you down as soon as you leave the narrative, basically. But, oh, let me empty this out. But as you guys are figuring out, and as you guys will figure it out, it's all bullshit, so... We definitely have to come together here, that's for sure. Men, women, don't matter. Skin color don't matter. The only thing that matters is you want to live in Canada and you want it to be like how it was. That's all that matters, you know. And this is the inside of the church, guys. I'm proud of these videos that I put out, all these Charlie Kirk videos, and I'm proud of what I've been saying in them. It's kind of like years of me thinking about all these things, refining these topics out loud as I speak them here, but it's pretty good that there's really only one thing that I would like change, which is really good. It's only like one phrase, one idea, one topic that I would change, and that topic would be like, I was like, you know, I want Canada to be a white Christian nation. That's not exactly true, and I actually think that's not the way to phrase it. It's too divisive. It's not what I'm trying to get at. What I'm trying to get at is, don't feel guilty for being white. Don't feel guilty for being a man. Don't feel guilty for wanting Canada to be like how it was when you grew up in the 90s or something, right? But at the same time, it's not about skin color at all. And just think about how Canada was in the 90s, you know? That's what it's about. It's not even about, it's not about skin color. I hate talking about that all the time. And it's not about being religious. Because look at how Canada was. Canada was secular. And we all got along, and there was crime, sure, and there was, you know, these plans have taken over the planet here. It's not an overnight thing. It's been going on a long time. But my point is, back in those days, it was good. You could be proud of Canada. You'd want to live in Canada, you know? You'd want to raise your kids in Canada, you know? Even though we're here now and we don't have homes, it's like we kind of thought it was going a certain way and we'd all have homes and everything would be great, kumbaya, all this, right? So it's not about, oh, I want Canada to be a white Christian nation. I want the States and Australia and all this to be, and the UK to be white Christian nations. No. I think everyone here in the 80s and the 90s can appreciate how Canada was, and we just want to preserve the nations that were built by the white Christians, even though they came here and treated the Native Americans like shit. And tried to brainwash them and stole them from their people and tried to get them to be white and Christian, and then you wonder why when you throw them back after all the abuse, they don't know how to love their kids, man, and then you wonder why nowadays alcohol is running ravage through the population, right? It's like you strip them of their culture, you strip them of the love. And yeah, man, it's like they still haven't recovered. Probably never will recover. Just like these governments in charge and everything, they've created the ghettos. They love the ghettos. They foster the ghettos. The third world. Why haven't they brought up the third world, guys? It's almost like they love using it. Ping pong on these wars. These guys get rich on all the wars. I mean, if you do your research, you'll find out what they get rich on. Everything. 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 So enjoy your life, guys. Enjoy the sunsets, you know. That's what they're gonna say. They're gonna say, man, you take life too serious. You're anti-Semitic. You're you're a conspiracy theorist. You're Looney Tunes, man. That's what the resistance gonna be. But if they have arguments, and they have arguments. If they're lying, they're lying. If they have Israeli talking points, then they do. But I feel like people know what's true when they're hearing it. And yeah, I think the message that's been coming out since Charlie Kirk got assassinated, they want us to be fighting left, right, Christian, black, white, and all this, but I think we have to stay true. We have to be focused. We have to understand who the enemy is. And what you're seeing on Instagram right now, I'm on Instagram, I'm not on these other ones, so I don't know, is you're seeing the ugliness in the world. And it's as ugly as you can imagine. And we definitely need to do something about it if you want a future for the kiddies. So that's basically where we're at. I'm gonna continue to make videos. I'm gonna eventually, I don't know, get a haircut, throw this camera on, and like do what I'm doing now, but so that you can see me, and maybe, you know, more of a news style, you know, Mark the news with Markcraft 86 or something, right? And then eventually, guys, it's like let me tell you this, okay? And then I'll get out of here. Last year on election day in Canada, I watched this passive, let me not get mean, okay? I watched Canada elect the Liberals again after 9 years of just whatever. You can't believe it. But a little manipulation, a little hate on Trump, a little Mark Carney's gonna be tough on Trump, and the people just bought it hook, line, and sinker. And I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, another 4 years at least of this, right? And then I started thinking, well, what are you going to do, Mark, in 4 years? Are you going to sit here on election night? What, you're going to cast your little ballot? You're just going to sit on your butt and wait to see who gets elected prime minister? Or are you going to do something over these, like, 4 years, right? So I got to do something over these 4 years, and that's why I started this YouTube channel in February, and that's why I'm getting all these thoughts out here publicly, and that's why I'm trying to formulate them so that eventually, by the time this next election comes around, you know, you throw a suit on, and then Markcraft 86 is out there, and I'll be extra polite there, like, you know, you guys are kind of getting it raw a little bit, right? But out there, it's like, I'll have a little suit on, and I'm here because of Charlie Kirk, and when you shot Charlie Kirk in the neck, you made 1 million Charlie Kirks, alright? You didn't make 1 million Jimmy Kimmels, okay? You didn't make one Jimmy Kimmel, okay? That's fake. But when whoever killed Charlie Kirk overstepped their bounds and wanted to, like, disrupt the peace on the planet, I mean, how can you even, like, keep going like this knowing that, what, you express a certain opinion and you're gonna get taken out? And then the governments could be in on it, the overseas assassins could be in on it, the FBI could be in on it. It's like, man, the stuff is crazy. Cue the music. So yeah, that all pops off, and you want it to be left versus right. Every story that comes out, you push the left versus right. This is what they're going to do, guys. Every time there's a immigrant that comes in, if they do a crime, they're going to blow it up on the news so that we're mad at the immigrants. Every time there's a kid who says something racist to an immigrant in the parking lot, they're going to blow it up so that the immigrants here are mad at the population that's here, you know? A black person can, like, slit a white person's throat on the train, and they're still making it all about race, instead of, like, the judge let this guy out 14 times, the justice system is broken, the country's broken, what is going on? How are all these countries letting out criminals at the same time? What is going on? And instead of being like, yeah, that's whack, they're like, they're trying to make it black versus white, and they're like, yo, we failed this minority guy, this black guy, you know, you should feel bad for him and stuff like that. It's like, we can't even agree that this young lady getting slit, her throat slit, is like the most horrific thing ever, and it can't happen, and like the circumstances are crazy, and it could have been preventable. You're still playing the culture war game. Charlie Kirk's got to bleed out live on my freaking phone, and we're still playing the culture war game. You know, we're still playing the name calling resistance shit, so you can like go to bed and not think about what's actually going on here. So yeah, guys, as I keep saying, man, in all these videos, it's over. It's all over. The adults are here, and You know, Israel's, yeah, buy TikTok, buy them all. You know, it's like, I don't know how much more obvious it could be, so I think they've overplayed their hand, okay? The devil is showing himself a little bit too much, okay? And I'm not saying we all got to go back to church, but listen, they got us all divided, crabs. We're all divided up into our own little our own little buckets. When we all used to hang out, we all used to swim around, we all used to hang out on the beach, hang out in the sunshine. Now they got us all divided up into buckets. Little districts, little buckets, and we can't even, like, get out to coordinate, to cooperate, to try to, like, figure out how we can get back to, I don't know, growing our own food, educating our own kids. How do we feel good? How do we be healthy? Get all these chemicals out of here. Everything's fake. Everything's just about making money. We got to get over that. You know? No one's coming to help us. We got to kind of do it. And if we open up, if as humanity we open up our eyes and say, stop running the world, and if you're going to run it, at least run it great for all of us. And if you're not going to do it, guys, and if, like, the cops ain't going to do anything, the courts ain't going to do anything, your government's not going to do anything, listen, there's going to be a lot of people that are just going to, we're ready to burn it all down kind of thing. Like, if we can't have Canada, no one's having Canada kind of thing. We're not complying with digital IDs. Okay, we're not complying with all the bullshit. You know what I mean? So, I can't wait. I kind of can't wait for them to pass hate speech laws in Canada, because anything they don't want me to say, I'm gonna, like, you know, go online and say it right away, and wait for the cops to show up to my house. So, we're talking mass resistance here, guys. Civil disobedience. Well, actually, that's if the political system fails us. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to throw on a suit probably and run for something, okay? And I encourage other people who kind of feel that calling. You know, don't push yourself, don't add any pressure, but if you feel that calling, just do it, guys. Who cares what people say? Who cares what people think about you? Who cares if they name call you? And you know what? And if they have a good argument for you and they can change your mind and open your mind, then good, let's hear it. That's what we want to hear. That's what Charlie Kirk would want. Open debate, not taking the most crazy things we say over a 2-hour debate, and we're going to take those 4 things and plaster it everywhere and justify the murder of a young man, and he's a Nazi and everything, and yeah, screw this low IQ culture. We are totally rejecting it, okay? And the last thing I'll say, I don't know why this is popping into my head, but guys, we're all struggling here. We have no money, okay? Over in Israel, it's like they got a population of 9 million people. They got free education, free healthcare. I'm gonna repeat, they got free education, free healthcare. And what are we doing over here? Just fighting to make ends meet. No one can afford anything. No one's got houses, and it's like the taxes are going up. The taxes on the taxes on the taxes, and it's like, we're sending all our money where? To Haiti, to Ukraine, to Israel, to anywhere but to your back pockets, you know? So, enough is enough. Throw them all out. Except, I would say Pierre Poilievre is on the right track. He's the only politician that's criticizing the banking systems. That tells you a lot, guys. All these politicians never criticizing the federal banking system, the Federal Reserve, the Bank of Canada. Pierre Poilievre does. So, yeah, all these people saying he's controlled opposition, that's another thing, guys. The information is going to be insanely hijacked. They're going to rely on you not really knowing what's going on, not really knowing who to trust, and, yeah, all these people talking about the Zionists are just anti-Semitic. That's basically what, you know, they're going to be relying on here. So, I don't know what everyone else is going to do. It's kind of not of my concern. I'm kind of too deep into this to, like, be holding people's hands, so I'm doing my own thing. I'm going to be, you know, doing this. Getting a little haircut, throwing on some nice clothes, get a little YouTube radio show going until I get banned or something. And then I'll be throwing on a suit and talking to these TDS baby boomers out there and all these blue-haired people, and then all the people who are just, like, normal, who aren't even political, who just, you know... We need to figure out who to vote for to get some policies going that's gonna make Canada like it was when I was a child in the 80s and the 90s. And it was great, guys, and we're never gonna get back to that. And I'm not one to romanticize the past, and I know that it'll never be like that. You can't go back. It's too late. But that doesn't mean that we can't fight for something similar and something great. So that's about that video. I love Canada, but Canada's cooked, but I'm not moving anywhere. I will die for this country. This is my country, and yeah. Non-violence, call to arms, the first step. Knowledge is power. Arm yourself, alright? So, thanks for watching. Love all my haters. RonPaul.com. This has been MarkCraft86. And stay safe out there. Peace.